Good morning, 5-star. Happy Thursday. Looks like we have at least in Kalamazoo, a 70-degree day today.
Yay.
Yay. And I am here with Cindy Beckwith, who is all ready for Christmas.
Hi, everybody. I know. I'm like, hey, look.
She's always our festive one. So welcome, Cindy. So
Thank you.
today we're going to talk about a very important topic. And I was thinking about this morning, and that is that you come into real estate, you're a business owner, you're running your own business, but there is very little demand on education, right? We have to take our 40 hours to become an agent, and then we do our 6 hours con ed every year, and that's all there is, right, Cindy?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's important. It's important to have education.
Yes. And what you might not know about Cindy Beckwith is she is one of the best educators I know.
Oh my God. No, Kim is, but thank you.
And she's
I
very
learned from Kim.
involved. I love you too. We all love we have an awesome team. And Cindy is very involved in her association at the board. Whenever I need to pass the baton to her to help with some training or education, she always welcomes the opportunity. And so she's just one of the best candidates here today to talk about education and knowledge is power and what we do to stay educated in this field of business, because it's a constant changing business. The rules are changing, situations are changing. And even as broker support, being a broker since 2016, I learn every single day. So today we're going to we're going to talk a little bit, but tap into Cindy Beckwith's brain today about how she does things. And
you guys are in trouble.
Yeah. So I'm going to let you go ahead and share a little bit, Cindy, about what you think is important to keeping top of mind as to what's going on in the industry, how you're talking to your clients, and mostly like what you do that makes you so successful regarding knowledge. You do a lot of business, about 100 transactions a year with no assistant. And so she has to know something, right?
Well, thanks, Kim. It is important and what happens in real estate is, I don't want to say you're on your own, but you're in charge of you. And so you have to be disciplined. And for me, when I got in real estate, I think real estate's fascinating. I love the industry. I love it that you can, craft it to who you are in that, but there's rules and guidelines and things that are ever changing, just like Kim said, and knowledge is power. And I love the point you made, Kim, about getting involved in your association. I didn't grasp that early on in my career, in my real estate career. I really wish I would have, because I've learned a lot. I'm on a lot of committees. I'm on the board of directors, and it's amazing. And that I'm able to learn all different facets of the business, and just getting involved, getting on a committee helps you really learn. Like, I'm on the MLS forms committee. There's a lot to forms, and there's been a lot of changes through the last couple of years, especially with COVID and things like that. But that's a real good way for you to get involved and learn the different changes and things in the market, which actually helped me a lot with my broker support role at 5-star, and also with talking to my clients and being educated, top of mind things and that. But actually 5-star has such a phenomenal education system, and Kim's director of education, and she teaches one-on-one, hands-on, all those different things. And it's real helpful to know that you have somebody that has your back, that's willing to answer questions. So we have a great broker support team and support system. But Kim, I've learned a lot from you.
Yeah, thank you. We all learn from each other. And one thing that's really important, I think, that's the easiest, one of the easiest steps to staying, to understanding this real estate industry is who you hang with, right? So,
Absolutely.
right, like what other agents are you talking to? Are you talking to agents who are improving themselves? Excuse me, do you have somebody that you go to that you just talk about the different things going on in the industry? The advantage you have at being in five star is there are hundreds and hundreds of videos on our YouTube channel, on Five Star Connect, on our new education website. All you have to do is go in, say, I want listing presentation, and you're going to get RPR, you're going to get Don, you're going to get anytime any of our staff or guests have talked about those topics. And it's really important that we use the tools. I like to tell agents the most important tool you have. Sometimes we'll get questions like, what's the best CRM? Where's the best place for me to learn? The best tool is the one you use, right? It's the
Yeah.
one you use. If that's
Yeah.
Ninja, if that's Tom Ferry, if that's Five Star Education, but it's the one that you stay consistent with. And
Yeah.
I know for me, I'm a constant learner. I sometimes I can't absorb it all because I could just sit and learn all day long. And then we have to put some things to practice, right, Cindy?
Right. Yeah, you got to do it. It's great. Education is so important, and learning techniques and that, but they only help you if you use them.
Yeah.
And we're in a business where you talk to people. So you got to step out of your comfort zone and
Yeah.
use the tools that you've learned. But I like what Kim said, Five Star has on their education site lots of videos and things like that, but they also, it's like I always say, it's a smorgasbord of things. You can
Yeah.
pick what you need.
Mhm.
Greg and Paul have developed so many great perks. I call them perks
Mhm.
in Five Star that help us move our business forward.
Mhm.
Just like coffee hours, like Kim was saying, you get around the people in the industry and you get to know people, you get to know what's going on out there. You learn tidbits to help you in your business. I mean, we had a meeting with Paul, and Paul talked about how he got when he became president of the company, and the fears that he went through and how he learned to do what he does. And
Mhm.
I thought it was fascinating. I thought it was a great story. It's inspiring to hear
Yeah.
how people move forward in their lives with just, you get an opportunity and you can help yourself, develop and just get better and better every day.
Mhm. So Cindy, at the board level, I know some of them are pretty universal. They run the same courses. What classes would you recommend for any agent, whether they're new, been in the business 5 years, 20 years? There are different certifications. What would you recommend that an agent get involved with?
Yeah, I've got several certifications, and I loved them. And the thing I love the certifications, but I liked being able to, because a lot of those classes and that you break out in little groups and stuff. I got to
Mhm.
know a lot of agents, and I have relationships with them all over, great ones. My ePro one, I really enjoyed. It was about, the technology and that, and I can always improve on that. And I really enjoyed that one. I went through a pricing strategy
Okay.
certification, and
Okay.
I thought it was excellent. Some of the math, I was like, okay, but it really did help me. It helped me move along. But I we have a general membership meeting every month.
Mhm.
And I encourage, like, especially the Lansing agents, to go, because we get different speakers in, and
Okay.
we just had one on probate trusts and that, and that's
Oh, nice.
that there's a lot of questions on that. And we actually had one of the, I think it was a probate attorney come in. She was great.
Mhm.
But just plugging into those things, I mean, Kim, you've got a mobile home,
Mhm.
um, modular mobile home class coming up today at 11:30.
Mhm.
And I think that's fascinating. We all need that type of education because it can be confusing. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't like to be confused when I'm in front of my client. I want to act like
No.
I know what I'm talking about. I
Yes.
don't want to be stuttering because I can do that. I would rather, have the knowledge or have something in front of me where I can talk about it. And so they have their trust because they're looking at us for the trust.
Mhm. Yeah, and on that, yesterday at 11:30, we, myself and I've asked Kelly Bent to come in and chat with me as far as processes go. But when I prepared this class, I learned so many things in this process, and our goal is to simplify it for you. Because, take for example, you're getting ready to show a HUD home. And that's so much stress if you don't ever do HUD homes. Or when we go to
Yes.
show or list a manufactured home, those are things
Yeah.
we don't do that often. And it's really important to brush up prior to being under fire, right? Like
Right.
have some understanding.
Yeah.
One of the things I want to mention is we have been doing workshops after the coffee hours in each market. And I know yesterday Eric Graham taught on just reviewing the G-Car listing contract, and he had 3 students. We'll do it for 1. The more the better. We want you to be a pro. Today, Don is over in Holland after the coffee hour, and he's teaching dot loop. Marissa just did a live stream on dot loop. I'm going on the road next week. Our goal is to help you learn. And so there's opportunities within the company, and then there's opportunities outside of the company. So we want to talk about what are some of the things I notice is your posting day Monday, Cindy, on in the classroom?
Yeah. Yep. On
Yeah.
Monday.
Yes, and I love to go see what she posted. She always has really good information, good little tidbits to remind us. Did you know about this? The graphics are nice on it. And you're just able, agents are able to like share in what the knowledge that Cindy has, and then she shares it on, and so does Tracy and Marissa and myself and Doug. But
Yeah.
I'm just pointing out that those are really good tidbits. I know we are in a world that moves really fast. And so for me personally, I don't do well studying at night. I need to be up early and give the studying and education to my time when my brain is all shut down, it's quiet, and I can learn. Then during the day, as your day ramps up with buyers, sellers, all the things that we do in a day, it gets harder to focus for me. But I do have drips in my Facebook news feed. And so I might be working along and, we periodically check Connect to see if an agent needs help or whatever that you're doing on there. And all of a sudden there'll be a Current Matters article, and I'll look at the headline and go, oh, that sounds really interesting. And I'll click on it and I might take a 2-minute read. How do you keep yourself strong in knowledge? What are some of the things that you do every day? What are some of your favorite go-tos? Like, legal hotline. You can see it on my background blurred, but this legal hotline FAQ has a lot of things. So tell us a little bit about what you do, Cindy.
And what you were talking about, Kim, on those Monday posts, I've learned a lot too, because I go through like the NAR website. They have what's called the Realtor. You get the Realtors magazine, but they also send that to you digitally through email. What were the other things? The NAR.
Well, the library too. NAR has a full
Yes.
library that you can sign into that I'm always amazed that I got to go back to this.
Yeah, they have
lot of
great
information.
articles in there and top of the mind articles too. GLAR, our association, they have a blog. So every time there's like a general membership meeting, they have a blog, or they send out what they call like a broker's update. And I read that because it gives me information on the market. But plus, we have a lot going on in our association right now. We've got Central Lock, we've got Sky Slope. I mean, it's a lot. And so I like to do that, and I read on my own. And Kim, I love Bethany Frankel. She, I read that book, Business is Personal, because she says it the way it is. And me, I'm a little bit of a slow reader, but I like to read, but I struggle to read. And I like the stories, and I like the strong, confident, and I'm a little fascinated by personality styles.
Okay.
And so I like to read about that because, you know, when you're with clients, you're dealing with all kinds of stuff. And you don't know if they just, you know, had a bad day, got in a fight with their
Mhm.
spouse, you know, all
Mhm.
that. So I'm always trying to work on myself so I don't get an attitude, so I can at least, you know, because it's, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
we're juggling a lot, and I always
Mhm.
want to leave making somebody feel better, not with what I'm burdened with or anything, because that
Mhm.
doesn't do any
Nice.
good. I want to
Right.
leave a positive impression on them because they'll remember that. But
That's
yeah,
good.
so and I like to, Kim, you know, I like to work out and
Yes.
early morning. I told Kim, I go, I did my kickboxing today, so I'm ready to roll.
Yes, she is
But
up early, prepares her day. She knows that her day will get hijacked at some point. I
yeah,
mean, we try to stay in control that day, but sometimes it's not easy to do because needs come up, issues come up, and you end up just rolling. So one thing that Cindy does is gets up, does her workout, takes her time prior to getting started with your day. And I do the same thing as well. I find that when I work out at night, which has been my schedule or my style, it's not working that well for me, especially with the time change right now. And I'm finding I'm just tired. So I need to be up earlier and get that done prior. And so schedule it. So we're going to talk about a couple things. I want to come back to RPR yesterday. We
yeah,
had a really good, she hosted a live stream yesterday on listing presentation, which is part of information. Even if you take away one good piece of information, you have increased your knowledge, you have increased
yeah,
and helped the way you do something, right? So I want
yeah,
to talk about that, but let's just talk about, just real quick, let's name off some of the things, tools that agents can look at, refer to, subscribe to, some of our favorites. I know we both like, of course, NAR and the Legal Hotline, the
yeah.
Realtor Magazine,
Correct.
Realtor, Michigan Realtors has Letter of the Law. They'll give you a quick little video with some situations, question and answers, and those are quick and you can watch those, right?
Yeah, those are very good. There's a lot of good information on there. The
Yes,
Ninja podcast, I like
Ninja
that. I think you got me
Podcast.
hooked on that, Kim. But I
Yes.
like that because it's, you know, you can do it while you can listen to it while you're doing other things.
Well, when you're
Multitask.
getting ready in the morning and you're
Yeah,
doing your hair, your makeup, or getting dressed, you
yeah,
can just hit play,
yep,
right? And then we like Current Matters. A lot of us
yes,
really like Current Matters. That seems to be relevant. One of the things I like is that I've noticed that Luke from Lake Michigan, from our new lending,
yes.
he gives an
Really
update.
good.
I like that update.
Yep,
Yes, it really helps me to be able to talk to my clients. So when a client or a friend or somebody you run into said, so what's going on with the market? I just had that conversation this morning.
yep.
That's really helpful about what's happening in the rates and what the feds are doing with the rate increases. So that's another good one, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And
Um,
then, yeah, what else? Tell me what else you like.
did we say current matters? Because that's good. Inman News. Inman is
Inman,
really good too.
yes, yes.
Um, and sometimes I'll get an email on that, but if you're not a subscriber, you only get part of it. And I'm like, oh, I need to subscribe. I need to read
Yeah,
the rest.
yeah.
Um, but you
Well,
know,
we
in
talked about
books.
the buyer and seller books.
Oh,
Those are
those are
filled with
excellent.
information.
Yeah.
Yes, the
My
five-star ones.
Yeah, my website that the marketing team designed, which I highly recommend to everybody. I get so much great feedback on my website. And really, it's not because I did it. I took information from those booklets because it is really a great read. It goes through the process of buying a home or
Mhm,
selling a home. And there's just great information. You know, Five Star has stats in them. And
mhm.
yeah, and they're classy. They're just a classy um giveaway too to your clients.
Right, right. And then, there are different, I'm just pulling this up here. Tom Ferry every day, he
Yeah.
comes on and today his word was, or yesterday, today, 19 minutes ago, how are you being the local expert in your market? And then you just ask yourself, and then you go and see what other people are doing. And
Yeah.
then he'll say, yesterday was, or let me look here, let me find the next one. This week, I want you to take a look at 3 areas of your life and see where you might have let things build up too far, then attack one project at a time. So I like wisdom. There's Brian
Mhm.
Buffini, there's Workman Success, there's whoever it is that you like to follow. I like to always have somebody else talking to me. And sometimes it just has to be just a quick email that we receive in our inbox or
Yeah.
something from following their page, right?
Yeah, exactly. And for me, I like all those. I like something that's easy, simple, that I don't have to spend a lot of time on, especially during the day, but I appreciate those kind of I call them pick me ups
Yes,
during the
yeah, those are
day.
good.
And
Yep.
because we are, work, basically work for ourselves and we motivate ourselves, you
Mhm.
have to find what works for you. But for me, those simple, like I said, pick me ups really help me during the day. Cause I always say, hey, I'm an air traffic controller too, you know, cause
Absolutely. That's
some
true.
days I love it. I love every minute of it, but
Yes,
I want to be able to deal with it so I don't drive myself crazy.
yes. And I always think of, what if there's that one piece of information that I don't know? And then if I make that mistake, what will that cost me? Right?
Oh, yeah.
It's always, what is that one thing that I don't know that could trip me up? So I want to
Yeah,
know as much as I can,
me too.
because it's like, who's the one person you need to meet that could change your life?
Right.
It's, what piece of information do I need that the little light bulb goes on that maybe could stop me from having a problem down the road? Or what is that one piece of growth that I could do that would make my life better? So knowledge, information, wisdom are so important in just our everyday life, but also in our business.
Yeah,
Say
for
you go
sure.
into a manufactured home, listing it as a pro versus not being a pro, then you kick the can down the road, you've sold it, or it's pending, right? And then you get down 4 or 5 weeks and then you have a hiccup. And what if that hiccup could have been avoided in the front end?
Yeah, by doing the work in the beginning,
Doing the work in the
or
beginning.
making that phone call, and that's what's so great about having broker support,
Yes.
making that phone call, just picking up the phone and doing it, and do it then. When it happens, just do it, because otherwise you're going to get interrupted and all that.
Mhm,
But Kim, you're exactly right. It could be something as simple as that. And
mhm.
oh, that's like the worst. I mean, we've
Yeah.
all been there.
Yes, yes. What if we
All
miss a
been there.
deadline? What if we miss a deadline on our contract? There's so many
Yeah.
things. So knowledge is very important. One of the things that Cindy was really fired up about yesterday was she hosted an RPR live stream, or yeah, it was a live stream
Yeah.
on listing presentation. Could tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. I went in there thinking, oh wow, because I love Cloud CMA. I've used Cloud CMA. It's easy and all that. So I went in there, with an open mind, but I was thinking, oh wow, I love my Cloud CMA. It was fabulous. She went through step by step. I did not know that you could customize things through RPR as well as what she showed. Also, 5-star you can also have 5-star
Mhm.
information in there. And it was simple, easy to follow, but the end result was so professional. And actually, RPR has more information, and
Okay.
you don't have to pay addition for it. I mean, it's free.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's like, okay. So I told her when I left, I said, I'm going to be working on a listing presentation. I'm using RPR because I think it's a great tool for agents and new agents that are wondering what kind of program they're going to use. Definitely check out RPR.
Okay.
And if you have
And
questions, I'll try to help.
sure, absolutely. And I know our marketing team will be pushing that out to agents if you missed it. it was recorded, so we'll be sure that we give you access to that. So before we close up today, is there anything else that you want to share with agents about being a pro, about learning and staying knowledgeable, staying in front of information out there? Anything
Yeah.
on your mind that you want to share?
Yeah, I think probably the best advice I can give is get involved, get involved. Don't be afraid or to go to a coffee hour or classes that are being offered or go to your local association. We're all busy. I get it totally. And that was kind of my excuse. Oh, I'm busy. But when I went and I got there, I was so grateful that I did
Mhm.
it because I learned, I took away information that just helped my business. And the other thing is, if you have questions or concerns, pick up the phone, call one of us on broker support. When I've got questions, I bug Kim and Tracy all the time.
We do
But
it. We do
it
within.
we,
Yes.
we learn, because like Kim said, it's a constant learning going on all the time. So, but you're with a great company. You really
Mhm.
are. So, I would just, suggest take advantage of all as many of the tools that help you, with your business through Five
Mhm.
Star.
Mhm. Yeah, it's good advice. And, our goal here is to help all of you be a pro and to provide the resources. You're seeing that we are adding a lot of courses over the last few weeks and going into winter. We want to be sure that we are providing value to you as agents, and we want to over deliver than under deliver. So just know we are adding a lot of new courses, a lot of maybe they're just a refresher, but if there's ever anything that you want to know about, please email us. We would be more than happy to have a live stream that helps you with that information. And just continue to be a pro. Don't sit on your hands all winter. Have a plan. Take a class. Last winter, I took a coaching class with John Maxwell. I absolutely loved it. It taught me all kinds of skill. I made some great connections. I love reading my books every day. When I work out, I put on a podcast. I know it's going to be 22 minutes. So I'm always renewing my mind, keeping my mind fresh. And when you're in a profession or just life that's constantly pulling from you, be sure that you're taking time to stay sharp, be a pro, refresh yourself, and most of all, make really good connections.
Yeah.
Hang with people that make your life better. Hang with people that you can glean from, and just be around other people that will help sharpen you as a person and as an agent.
Yeah. Great
So,
advice, Kim. Great.
yeah. Well, thank you, Cindy, for being with us today. I always love it when I have the opportunity to find out what's going on in here and share it with us, because we're all better for it. And as you say, you always do leave us in a better place. I love your positivity. You always are saying nice things and giving compliments, and I really appreciate that. And I appreciate your friendship, and I appreciate working with you as part of our
You too,
team.
Kim.
Thank you. You definitely bring a lot to our agent community, and we're glad to have you with us. So thank you for chatting with us today. And we hope that everyone enjoys this beautiful day today. It's one of a few that are left.
Yes. Christmas
Yes.
lights out. Get your Christmas lights out.
Yep. Clean your gutters. I better
Listen
clean
to
my
a
gutters.
podcast while you're putting your Christmas lights
There
out.
you go. You got it. All right,
Yeah.
everyone. Thanks for listening, and everyone have a great Thursday.
Thanks, Kim.
All right. See
Bye-bye.
you later. Bye.